All right, here we go, craft time. Welcome everybody. My name is Jeb Haber and I've been coming to camp since my daughter Olive was 3. She's almost 13 now. So we're out here at Washington Family Ranch and we've been having a great time. So nice to be able to share some of this with folks online and then some of it with folks here. So glad you're all here. Welcome back the folks who did virtual camp last year or folks that have done family camp in the past but couldn't make it in person this year. That's nice to see you. If you have questions, ask them in the chat and we'll work that out. But yeah, we're gonna work on our craft kit now. So we were just doing this over at camp and it went real well. So what you guys got in the mail is this little tube, and inside there is some thread, there's some leather lacing, and this guy. So this is a little leather box is what we're going to make. This one's kind of partially made, so I'm going to walk you through that. So craft time is always a fun part of camp. I always have a nice time making this stuff in the shop, and then it's just a good time to kind of be together and make something that has some lasting memory, and it's always a real important part of our camp here. Before we start, I just want to say that this is an important part of our IEM, our PKU experience, and so I'm just happy to be able to do this and bring more folks in. This year we've got we had about 150. I think we probably ended up at about 140 here in person, and then we shipped out almost 200 kits. So we had 230 total families participating either in person or virtual this year, for probably on the order of 500 people on the other end of the screen. So it's pretty neat to have something that's gone from being a local to a regional to a national, and even have some international participation. So anyway, thanks for being here. So we're going to make this little leathercraft box. Okay, so here's how I start going about this. I'm going to take these clips off. So I use these binder clips. I didn't put any of those in there. You don't need them, but I'm going to do that here just because it'll be easier to see. So there's a couple ways to do this. I'm going to do it the first way, which is to cut about 6 inches of this string off. And then I'm going to line up the end pieces so the holes line up. Hopefully you can see that. This. And I'm just going to kind of clip them, but you'd be able to just hold them. When you clip your leather, if you clip it on an angle, kind of to a little point, it'll be a little bit easier to poke through the holes. So I'm just going to poke through, and you can do this in a few different patterns, but I kind of like to do an X. So I'm just going through, and then I'm going to go back through here, and I'm going to go back through the front. Like this. And on the back side, I've got these 2 tags, 2 free hanging ends, and I'm just going to tie them off. Tie them off like that. Okay? All right, so this is what it looks like here. That's a little twisted. You can make that straight. But I just got a little X, and I've got a little knot on the back side. And then I can come back later and trim those up if I want. Okay? How are we looking, guys? Good. All right. So I'm going to do this on the other side now. And I'm going to do the same thing. And I'm probably going fast, but you guys you'll get the gist of it, and you'll go at your own pace. I'm going to show you how to do it a little differently with the string this time. Okay? So this time what I'm going to do, you've got 36 inches of string in your kit, so you have enough to do all 6 of the knots. So you don't want to necessarily be cutting it into like little fragments shorter than 6 inches because you won't be able to tie the knot. But this is a good way to do it as well. So I'm just going to take the whole string this time instead of cutting the 6 inches off. And I'm just going to poke through. And you can do different patterns with this. You could do the X like I've been doing, or you could do something else. There was some creative stuff going on in camp today. So for this one, just one end of them, one end of what you have, you're just going to like, have it 2 or 3 inches sticking out. And then you're going to pull the rest through in your pattern. Hopefully this makes sense. Okay, so I've just pulled it through, and I've got just a little bit sticking out the back. And if yours doesn't look like this, you could always pull it out and start over. So I've got my X, I've got the bulk of the string, or the bulk of the lace here, and then I've got just a little tag end to tie off with. So now I can tie my knot. And you really only need a single knot. You could do a double if you want, but the leather kind of holds itself. Okay, so now I've got this long piece here, and I can just come back with my scissors and just clip back. Particularly if you're cutting a little bit longer than 6 inches by accident. Do we have any questions so far?
No major questions. There was a little bit of cutting in and out at the beginning. Can you go back over how long to cut the string?
Yeah.
If you do it long.
Just a little bit of
Sure. Okay.
the initial part.
So just a little bit of the initial part, there was some cutting out. So well, first thing is you're going to be folding these little ears up so that they're on the outside like this. So wherever the gold is, some of them have the embossing isn't gold. Some of them it is gold. So you fold those up, and that's what it's going to look like. And cut you can either do it 2 ways. You can either cut 6 inches off, and there's exactly enough for doing 6 6-inch pieces. So cut either 6 inches, or you can do it the way that I just showed, where you use the whole piece and then trim it off. Do you guys think I should demonstrate the whole piece again, or do the 6 inches, or what?
Just do the 6 inches.
Okay, so I'm going to cut 6 inches. I'm in the corner now. Okay, so I recommend you do the 2 versions here, the sides first, because then it holds the whole thing together, and then move to the corners. Okay, so I've got this is under 6 inches, but you've got enough to do a full 6. So I'm going to do this piece, and then I'm poking back through, and then I'm going to cross over that. And it really doesn't matter if you do a different pattern. This is just what I've been doing. So there's that little crisscross. I've got 2 tag ends back here on the back side. I'm just going to tie just a simple overhand knot like that. And then I'll come back and trim those later. Okay. All right, so now we're just keep going. Some of the folks here at camp, we had like a little basket of beads, and they tied some things on out here, some buttons and beads and baubles and those sorts of things. So if you have stuff you want some little doodads, you can put the little doodads on there. Any questions?
They want to know if you want to personalize it with some designs of their own, what would be the best? Would it be regular Sharpies if they wanted to draw on it, or fabric markers?
Well, it's leather. I wouldn't suggest drawing on it necessarily, but if you would like to, you could draw on it with a Sharpie. You could also stamp in it because it is leather, or let's see. I've not tried drawing on the leather because it is kind of a natural product. But yeah, Sharpie would work. So I'm just tying this corner off. So that's one full side done. Crisscross, corner, corner. Now I'm just going to finish this side off. So see, I've got plenty left. So I was cutting a little bit less than 6 inches. But so, and it, you know, there's really no right way to do this. You just want to end up with both of your loose ends, both of these loose ends on the back, so that you can tie the knot out of sight. So make your crisscross. So it's hard to see holding it for the camera, but just like that. Cool. So that's 5 out of 6. So I got one more to do. I'm excited to see how yours turn out. Post some pics in there so we can take a look at it. We'll have to decide what you're going to put in there. People were talking about putting their golf tees or their keys, or not sure what else people were thinking. If you're having trouble getting it through, if it's just a little floppy or whatever, again, just cut on that angle if you want. It just makes it easier to thread through. So here we are. And go diagonal. And I go back through. And I go back through that way. And if it doesn't look right, just pull it out. Start over. Some folks were doing other things with their design. So instead of doing the crisscross on the outside, they were doing something like this, where you've got 2 straight ones that go across. I'll get that lined up.
Some people only have 1 string in their kit.
There's only 1 string in the kit. It's 36 inches long, and if you cut it into 6 pieces, you'll have what you need. So some people did it like this. So instead of doing the crisscross in the corner, they did these 2 lines. You could also do them straight up and down. So just different ways to do it. I didn't see anybody getting crazy. I was surprised that nobody did some crazy stuff like going over the top. I haven't even tried this before, but you know, try some things. See if you like them. If you don't like them, do something else. Just don't cut your string up into 2-inch pieces, because then you're just not going to have enough. But you can use anything you find around the house too for the string, for the lacing. Crisscross, so it's done. And I'm going to start on this back side, do my diagonal first. And then come out, back. It's kind of peaceful back here. We've been in, like, the water park's open right now over there, and the ropes course, and they're just running all over the place. We're back at, what's this called, Boomtown right now, which is where the volunteers and staff stay. So that's what that looks like. I'll tie it off. Like so. What's that?
Show that again.
Tie what? Show what? This guy?
Yeah.
That's what that looks like. And this one's got a little fold in it. I'm going to turn that a little bit.
In the discussion, the idea for the Sharpie was put their name and year so they remember when they
Ah, name and year. That's good. If I had a Sharpie, I would write that on the bottom. So I'm going to just go back around and clip these. Some people were leaving some of them long for various. Oops, see, that one just came undone. So I'm going to tie that one again. So I got to move him around. If you're having trouble lining up the holes, another trick you can do is to take your scissors or the tip of a pen and push them in, and that will line the holes up. Daylin was over there making one, and I saw her doing that with her scissors a bunch. She was making sure they were all lined up just right. It's a little bit easier to push them through if they're lined up. That's just a little trick to get them lined up. And you can double knot these, and then you wouldn't have the risk of it kind of slipping like that. So we'll clip them. I'm just going to make sure they're snug. I don't know what you can see on the camera, but I got all my little tags to get out of there. All right, so that's complete. And the only other trick I would say is if you want to kind of square out the bottom a little bit. So here's the bottom, and this sort of bottom square, if you just along here, just kind of pinch it, and then do the same on the next one. Just kind of pinch. And you can do this a few times. That's just gonna, you can see how it's taking like a square shape. So it's not necessary, and some of the leather is softer than other, but we made it's a half a cow. So it was a lot of boxes. So there we go. So that's kind of squared out now. See, that's kind of got a nice look. And you could do that at the corners too if you wanted to give it a little body. And then you just gotta decide what you're gonna put in it, and that's the whole project. So, any other questions? Do we need to recap anything?
No, just mostly comments. Someone's going to use Red Cross shoestrings that they have.
Shoestrings would be great. Yeah, I've used wax thread at home on some of the other prototypes, and yeah, shoelace would work. Yeah, all the laces that got sent out were suede, so they're a little thicker. They have a little more body, so they're easier to push through things. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed that, and we will see you at camp.
Yeah.
Are we still live?
You're still live. You
Okay.
can tell them goodbye from camp.
Yeah.
This is their last live. They're going to do a mixer next.
Okay, there's a mixer next. Awesome. Well, thank you for coming. Thank you for being part of this community. You know, our experience with community through this camp and these organizations has been really important. Our daughter knows people with PKU, with other IEMs. Our families are close friends with folks. We've grown up with them. The girls, Olive's almost 13, and you know her friends she's seen every year here since she was 3, and that's just been an important part of it. So you know, the year we decided after we had the successful virtual to move the camp charter out of the regional organization into National PKU News, and the National PKU News team has done an awesome job with this. Nikki and Michael are sitting behind me making stuff work, but they've been fantastic. Brenda's been amazing. She's done the food this year. And Jan, our dietitian's been kind of making sure everything works back there as well. Sarah's here. We also have people from, we have Jerry and Lisa here from National PKU Alliance. So it's been a great community weekend. People meeting each other, talking about their experiences, researchers talking. You guys got to hear some of that this morning. If you didn't, go back and listen to that. And we're going to do it again. So welcome to the community, and I look forward to spending time with you in person and virtually. And anyway, have a great rest of camp. What do we have left today? You've got a mixer next, and then this is it.
That's it.
So, all right. Well, I hope you had a wonderful time, and we're signing off here from Antelope, Oregon, in the middle of the desert. We managed to do this outside. We didn't have any rain, and we're gonna go. Yeah, we're just gonna go do dinner. We're gonna do our carnival tonight. It's gonna be a long night. We do a pie in the face thing at the end. Stacy and I are going to end up with about 20 pies in our face tonight at the carnival. I'm going to make sure Nikki gets a few. I'm going to make sure Michael gets a few pies in the face. And yeah, you're going to get some. Yeah, we'll sign it off here.
One more quick question.
Yeah.
Someone wanted to know, over time, if the leather got stiff, what do you recommend treating it with?
I wouldn't treat this. This is a chrome tan leather. It's not going to stiffen up.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the only question.
Yeah. All right. Super.